So welcome back to the second part of our VLAN configuration lab. Now you'll notice that we've set up VLAN 30 as our DMZ host VLAN. It is active, but there are no interfaces in VLAN 30. That's because there is a second step to configuring the VLAN on the individual interfaces, and that's what we're going to do in this lab, as well as show you the second way to set up VLANs, which is kind of automatic, but we'll get to that in a moment. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go into config mode, config T, we'll do interface fast Ethernet 0/3 as an example, and then we will do switch port access VLAN, and then whatever VLAN number we want to give it. In this case, we'll do VLAN 30. Now, if we exit back out, we do show VLAN at this point, and we see that the DMZ host VLAN is active with fast Ethernet 0/3 in its VLAN. You'll also notice that since this is an access port and not a trunk port, VLAN 1 no longer has fast Ethernet 0/3 in it, because again, access ports can only be in one VLAN at a time. I'll now show you the second way of setting up VLANs. Some people say it's a lot simpler, but I think that it's best to do it this way, where you configure the VLANs first and then add the ports to the VLANs. And I'll show you why here in just a moment. Let's say you're in configuration mode. You're on interface fast Ethernet 0/6, for example, and you do switch port access VLAN 300 instead of 30. You'll notice that it says access VLAN does not exist, creating VLAN 300. And again, that's all well and good. If we go back out here and we do show VLAN, we now see VLAN 30 as well as VLAN 300 active with fast Ethernet 0/6 in it. Again, it's quicker and easier if you're setting up a range of ports to go into a specific VLAN, but if you're swapping this around in a production environment, or it's late at night and you are prone to typos, or you're across a slow connection and so on, any number of things, it's very easy to create a typo, miss the fact that it came back and said, this VLAN does not exist, creating VLAN 300. Again, maybe you've scripted this and you're just pasting it into a console window. And then you've got this phantom VLAN out there, for lack of a better term. And unless you're routing packets to it, or unless all of the hosts are in the same VLAN, that one port is isolated from all the other VLANs on your switch. And you might not catch it or see it until you happen to go back and do a show VLAN. At which point you'll go, hey, what's this VLAN 300 doing out there? That's not what I want it to be in. I want it to be in VLAN 30. And so those are the two ways of configuring interfaces to be in specific VLANs. Again, I prefer the first because you know exactly what VLANs are configured on the switch. You know exactly what interfaces are in those VLANs. And there aren't any surprises by just having the switch automatically create the VLANs for you. Now, it might be possible to tell the switch, don't automatically create these VLANs if I make a typo, but if there is, I haven't found a way to do it. And that, my friends, concludes our discussion on VLAN configuration.